The relationship between Presidents Trump and Macron has been notable for all their public displays of affection. But now they have some real differences on issues from trade to climate to national security. They are here among 80 world leaders to mark the end of the World War I 100 years ago. But today it is Presidents Trump and Macron who are center stage. All the pomp of a ceremonial welcome for President Trump at the Élysée Palace in Paris this morning.
My good friend President Trump.
But President Trump appeared tense.
We want to help Europe, but it has to be fair.
But that came only hours after a breach in the bromance. The president knocked his closest European friend, French President Emmanuel Macron. Mr. Trump called Macron very insulting for suggesting in an interview that Europe needs its own army to protect itself from outside powers, including the U.S.
I do believe that we need more European capacities.
Here to commemorate the end of World War I, President Trump packed some political baggage from home, both praising and then appearing to distance himself from his controversial acting attorney general.
I don't know Matt Whitaker. Matt Whitaker worked for Jeff Sessions.
And tweeting this morning, I did not know Mr. Whitaker except primarily as he traveled with AG Sessions. No social contact. But just 1 month ago, the president made it sound like they were friends.
I can tell you Matt Whitaker is a great guy. I mean, I know Matt Whitaker.
The president's sudden reluctance comes as Whitaker is under scrutiny. He had been an outspoken critic of the Mueller investigation that he now oversees.
I could see a scenario where Jeff Sessions is replaced.
The New York Times reporting this morning that the president liked what he saw from Whitaker on cable news and had his then White House counsel interview him for a role as an attack dog on his legal team. Whitaker didn't get that job. And legal experts question whether he can serve now without Senate confirmation.
Kelly, another headline making news overnight. The Wall Street Journal has new reporting on the president's involvement in those hush money payments to women who claim to have had sexual encounters with him. What are they saying?
Well, the Journal reports that during the case against Michael Cohen in New York, of course, the president's former lawyer, that prosecutors had prepared an indictment they never needed to use because he pleaded guilty. But in that document, they outline what they say is the president's alleged knowledge and involvement in hush money payments to two women, Stormy Daniels and Karen McDougal, who claimed they had affairs with the president. The president denies that. So a real question, Peter, is will this information be of any use to federal prosecutors as the special counsel investigation continues? Could they find any evidence of campaign finance violations? That we don't yet know, but that's new reporting from the Wall Street Journal. Peter?
Kelly O'Donnell traveling with the president in Paris this morning. Kelly, thank you.